People speculate that Bigfoot might be a relic hominid, like a Neanderthal or something like that. We can talk about Neanderthals because humans are said to share maybe 3% of the genetic code of Neanderthals. But what's interesting is they have a finding that says that more than 1/5 of, which would be 20% of human DNA, might be shared with Neanderthals, because if you look at the population as a whole, what I'm assuming they mean by this, that out of that maybe 3% of any one individual, one person out of that 3% might share ABC with a Neanderthal, and then the next person might share ABF or something like that. But added up, they share collectively 20% of the Neanderthal genome. So that makes it interesting, and as far as piecing together what a Neanderthal might look like. Now, that Russian boxer, I don't know his name off the top of my head, but the guy that's looks like he's about 7 feet tall, that kind of looks like what you'd think a Neanderthal would kind of look like. I think he was tested by Brian Sykes. I think that the tall Russian boxer, who some people say looks like what they would imagine a Neanderthal might look like, was tested by, I believe he was tested by Brian Sykes from Oxford University. I don't know the results of that. That was I think that was on a British Bigfoot show, and which seemed to be very interesting. I've only caught a couple episodes of it, but it seemed to be actually, to me, more interesting than some of the U.S. ones, because they went into like cut or dried information. Like, they tested things DNA wise, blood samples, hair samples. That in the U.S. versions, they just speculate endlessly. Is this guy said he found this on his porch. Should we believe it to be Bigfoot DNA? This skull, of a Bigfoot has been around for a century, whatever, dozens of years, generations. People think it's Bigfoot. Is it or not? They just tested all this stuff, and they can determine immediately, no, that's a bear. No, that's a bear. It seems like everything they tested was a bear. But my point is, of any one individual non-sub-Saharan African has 1 to 3% of Neanderthal DNA, and then collectively maybe 20%, out of all those people out of the 3%, they all have different elements of the Neanderthal DNA, and then collectively 20% of the Neanderthal DNA has survived through the people. If you can piece together more of what a Neanderthal actually looked like through their facial structure. Okay, this person has more of a brow ridge. This person has more of a Neanderthal bone structure in the nose area, the big open area where the nose would be, nasal guttering or whatever. And this one has a less of a chin. I mean, I've seen examples where people say this person looks like a Neanderthal, and they really do. They have practically no chin, and they have like a sloping head. And I wonder if you can actually, since they do have Neanderthal DNA supposedly, then can you bring one back to life? But we'll talk about that type of thing in another episode.